Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Barkley. Rose Namajunas is on the card. Edmund Shablazian, Cody Garbrandt, Cody Brundage, Paul Craig's on here. Michael Chiesa. Oh yeah, Malcolm Wellmaker, dude. Have you seen? And the rest are nobodies. But hey, man, let's get into this, dude. Starting things off on the prelims, what do we have here? We've got Jamie Lynn Horth. What the fuck was that? My cat is like breaking shit in my house. We got Jamie Lynn Horth versus Vanessa Demopoulos. I'm gonna keep it a buck right now. I don't give a fuck, dude. This was a short notice fight. Demopoulos is coming in on short notice. All I can remember with Demopoulos is when she lost by submission in the Apex, and she was like, she was calling out, "She's got my gloves! She's got my gloves!" As if she was getting like hate crimed, the dude. Like, she was calling that shit out like she was like in a protest or something. I just think that was funny. And I don't rate Demopoulos that highly. She does weirdly have UFC privilege where they absolutely love her. For whatever reason, I feel like she's gonna end up getting hired as a fucking UFC analyst somehow. I think Jamie Lynn Horth wins this by decision, but I don't give a flying fuck. I'm not gonna lie, alright, man? First fight to talk about for real, we got Phil Rowe versus Ange Loosa. I'm surprised these guys haven't really fought before. They've both been in the welterweight division for a pretty long time. And they're both kind of at a weird point in their career. They're not old, they're not washed, but they both looked pretty bad in their last couple of performances. Like, I would say that both these guys in their last two fights looked pretty gun-shy. Like, Phil Rowe's coming off some losses to Neil Magny. I mean, how do you not lose to Neil Magny? The kid's a marauder. And Jake fucking Matthews, mate. Ange Loosa had the fight with Brian Battle. I believe he just lost to Gabriel Bonfim, if I remember correctly. He's coming off a loss. And like I said, the biggest thing with these two guys in their last couple of fights, they looked pretty gun-shy. Like, they just didn't really seem like they pulled the trigger that much. And I would say that's the biggest thing holding back Phil Rowe. Like, you rewatch the Neil Magny fight or even the Jake Matthews fight, he doesn't really just get going. Like, he's just waiting for a big moment. And he's kind of just put on the back foot. And I'm going to say that Ange Loosa wins this fight by decision just based on being more aggressive, little bit more blockhead mentality, gonna be higher output, and I think that he's gonna win a pretty boring decision. I'm gonna say that Phil Rowe, good striking, good cardio, but Ange Loosa has like power. He has a pretty decent chin. I mean, the guy survived 3 rounds with the GOAT, Jack Della Maddalena. So I think this is gonna be a how fucking good is JDM type of win. I trust Ange Loosa's grappling as well. He's a pretty solid wrestler. So I'm gonna say that Ange Loosa, just higher output, a little bit more aggressive, pushing the pace, a little bit higher output, more likely to pull the trigger in bigger moments, throw some combinations, maybe mix in a big takedown or something like that, holding Phil Rowe against the fence if he needs to. That's my pick for this one. I'm going to say Ange Loosa wins by unanimous decision, okay? Now, Ricky Simone versus Charles Jourdain has been canceled, okay? It just got canceled like 20 minutes ago. They made Joshua Van versus Brandon Roval as well. I can't wait to talk about that in another video. But if Ricky Simone gets a replacement, I think Ricky Simone wins that, all right? Next fight to talk about, we got Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. Now, Jose Ochoa is the favorite in this fight. I looked at the betting odds on fucking Tapology. Why is this guy the favorite? I guess I kind of understand to some extent because Cody Durden's a bit of a gatekeeper in this division. I think that's pretty fair to say. But, you know, he is coming off a loss against Joshua Van. But Jose Ochoa, he's coming off a loss to Lona Kavanagh. It was a good fight. He did have some good moments. He had, obviously, the submission attempt in round 2. He is the dangerous young prospect. But the biggest thing with Jose Ochoa, which is why I'm going to pick Cody Durden to win this fight, I will be picking Cody Durden via fraud check decision. This guy's 24 years old, and he trains at a shooter box, bro. He's in the gym hearing it. You need to go in there and throw fucking oblique kicks and get chinned in round 5. That's what you need to do. Listen, go over here with my wife and her boyfriend and watch what I do in sparring. That's a factor to me, that you train with shooter box, because you know what that means? When I've played these games before. I've seen Mateus Mendonça. I've seen fucking Felipe Daytona go in the fight, sit on their fucking back and spam submissions and lose a decision. I think that Cody Durden will be able to take this guy down. He took down Joshua Van, who has pretty good takedown defense. We've seen him beat guys like Jake Hadley, pushing the pace, using his wrestling. out-scrambling them. He is a very good grappler. He submitted Matt Schnell as well. Got the famous double tap. Like, bro, come on, dude. What are you doing double tapping in the UFC? But regardless of that, my point is, Cody Durden is a very good wrestler, a very good grappler. He does have a good chin. Jose Ochoa, his best, like, path to victory in this fight is fluking a submission off his back. But I feel like this is going to be a shoot-the-box moment where bro just ends up on bottom and just throws up triangles and arm bars, gets his guard passed, gets controlled from the back, gets ground and pounded, loses the fight by decision. Maybe like a late round TKO. But I'm going to say Cody Durden wins by decision just based on control time. I think he's probably going to be a little bit more composed in the fight, a little bit more smart managing his cardio. And like I said, I think the biggest thing is that this guy is probably pretty likely to try and throw up some submissions. And I think that's going to cost him in this fight against someone that's experienced, that's pretty good in the grappling, like Cody Durden. I'm going to be picking Cody Durden by decision. Okay, dude? But I could see Jose Ochoa winning by submission. I'm going to pick Durden, though, but I'm going to fence it that one a little bit. All right, man? Next fight to talk about, we got Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Moutinho. Dude, imagine not freaking beating Chris Moutinho, dude. Dude, me and Schmidt freaking had the after party at freaking Moutinho's house, dude. I'm going to pick Malcolm Wellmaker to KO this guy, man. I like Chris Moutinho. I'm happy to see him back in the UFC. I thought that O'Malley fight was super entertaining as an O'Malley Glaze. I mean, come on, dude. That was my dream fight, bro. I'm honestly hoping that we can get a Moutinho versus O'Malley rematch. I think they got some unfinished business, dude. But in the meantime, you're fucking cooked, bro. You're fighting fucking Malcolm Wellmaker, dude. You're done for, bro. I'm sorry, man. I just don't see Chris Moutinho winning this fight. His biggest skill set is without a doubt his grappling and his chin. But even then, he got finished in the UFC right after he lost to O'Malley. And they cut him. And since then, he is on a win streak. People are like, oh, Moutinho's on a 5-fight win streak out of the UFC, dude. He's coming back. If you look at the records of the guys that he's beating, I don't really look at this as like, dude, Chris Moutinho is freaking back, dude. I do think there's guys in the UFC he can beat. I think there's guys in the UFC he can be competitive with. Malcolm Wellmaker is a really tall fucking order to get on short notice. I think that we're going to see Chris Moutinho run into a big fucking shot. Late round 1, early round 2. I'm going to be picking Malcolm Wellmaker by TKO. I do think Moutinho is tough. I do think he's going to be trying to get a clinch, trying to get a hold of Malcolm Wellmaker. Maybe he takes him down early on in round 1. But I do think at some point, just based on how defensively irresponsible he is in most of his fights, we're going to see a guy like Malcolm Wellmaker who has really good power, long levers, like long kind of skinny arms, great counter punching as we saw in the Cameron Simon fight. We've seen him on the Contender Series as well. I'm going to say Malcolm Wellmaker wins this fight by late round 1 or early round 2 TKO, okay? Let's move on though, okay? Because Michael Chiesa, why is this guy putting together a fucking run right now, man? Why is Michael Chiesa all of a sudden putting together a run? Because he beat Tony Ferguson. I mean, come on, dude. You know, welcome to the fucking club. That last fight against Max Griffin, he actually looked good. I'm a fucking Michael Chiesa hater. I was jumping for joy, celebrating this man's downfall when he lost to Vicente Luque. I have no shame in admitting that. What the fuck? My cat's like zooming around the house. Anyways, bro's really excited about Michael Chiesa. I'm picking Michael Chiesa by dominant decision. I thought he looked really good against Max Griffin. He looked dominant in the grappling. Max Griffin's not an easy guy to finish. Like, Michael Morales went to a decision with him. You know, a bunch of other prospects have fought Max Griffin and not looked that good. Michael Chiesa is someone that people consider kind of washed. And he low-key fucking dominated Max Griffin. Like, he actually put on kind of a masterclass. He looked comfortable on the feet. He mixed in the grappling, got the submission. I think in this fight, he's going to beat Court McGee pretty handedly. I do think Court McGee will survive to a decision because, I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel like he has like an old head grappling ability to kind of stay safe and just ride out position and kind of, you know, craft it up a little bit. I think that's the best way to describe it. So I'm going to say this fight will just be Michael Chiesa boxing up Court McGee a little bit, defending some sort of takedowns early on, you know, looking for submissions. They're kind of rolling around. And I think Michael Chiesa will mainly just control him from the back and be able to pick him up, slam him sometimes, you know, take him down kind of sloppily against the fence, like tripping him. I think we're going to see a lot of takedowns from Michael Chiesa. A couple of submission attempts. I definitely think he could get a submission, but for whatever reason, my gut is telling me Michael Chiesa by decision. Okay, dude? Next fight to talk about, Paul Craig versus Rodolfo Gelato. All right, man. Now, if you're a real bedtime MMA fan, you're a real fan, you're not a fucking casual, you remember that I swept the Morales versus Burns card. And on that card, this fight was supposed to happen. I was picking Paul Craig. I was feeling myself. I'm putting up one-legged shot. I'm not even a one-legged shot guy. I'm putting up one-legged left-handed shots. I'm changing my pick. I'm picking Rodolfo Bellato. I definitely feel like this is the type of matchup where I could easily bedtime gaslight myself into being like, well, Rodolfo Bellato has no fight IQ. Like, he almost got finished by fucking Jimmy Crute. You know what I mean? He's beating kind of jobbers in the UFC. Like Paul Craig, this is the type of fight he randomly wins by submission. I feel like I could easily gaslight myself into picking this fucking dude, and then he just gets smashed. So I'm gonna just turn off my trying to be different brain and just say Rodolfo Bellato wins this fight by a late TKO. Like round 2, maybe early round 3. I think he's fighting a guy that's not going to be able to wrestle as well as Jimmy Crute. I don't even think Paul Craig really has the striking of Jimmy Crute, especially not the boxing. Like, maybe you could argue that he actually has decent kicks and he's tall and lanky, but at 205 he's always been chinny. He's not going to be fighting someone marginally smaller than him, like fucking Bo Nickel or, you know, Andre Muniz or something like that. He's fighting a big, scary light heavyweight that has good hips, that can defend takedowns if he needs to, you know, can reverse positions, has good calf kicks, is going to tag him up on the feet probably, like everyone else that fights Paul Craig. And I just think Rodolfo Bellato at some point is going to chin Paul Craig. I think if you're getting rocked by Bo Nickel and you get in there with Rodolfo Bellato, you're probably going to get chinned. So I'm going to say Rodolfo Bellato wins by TKO. So my picks for the prelims, I've got Rodolfo Bellato, I've got I got Cody, I got Ange Lusa, and I got Jamie Lynn Horth. The reason I'm laughing is because I know there's someone crashing out in the comments that I'm mispronouncing UFC jobber names. Like, I don't know why it's so funny to me, but people genuinely care so much about these random unranked people, all right? Let's talk about the main card, though. First fight of the night, we got Alonzo Menifield versus Umar Sy. Now, I believe this is a rebooking. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to happen at UFC Seattle. Alonzo Menifield ended up fighting Julius Walker instead. I'm going to pick Umar Sy to win this fight, dude. I would have picked Umar Sy if they fought originally. I'm going to pick him again because, dude, Alonzo Menifield, like, I don't know how to explain this fucking guy, bro. Alonzo Menifield, he's athletic. He's got decent striking, good power, right? Pretty, like, he gasses out. Like, he does kind of have some Dada slice kind of moments, but at the same time, like, he is marginally better than most of the unranked light heavyweights. But you can make an argument that he lost to fucking Julius Walker, dude. Like, you can make an argument that fight was way too close for someone taking on a short notice unranked light heavyweight making their debut. And you're fucking ranked. Like, Menifield is ranked. This guy gets rocked every single fight. He got smoked by Carlos Oberg. He got chinned by fucking... Didn't he get chinned by fucking Dustin Jacoby or something? I don't, bro. This guy, he is very chinny. And he's kind of sloppy on the feet. And I think Umar Sy, do I rate him as this, like, oh my god, this guy's a world beater like fucking Carlos Oberg or something? No. But I do think Umar Sy, being a big athletic light heavyweight, probably gonna rock him at some point and probably submit him. I'm gonna say that Umar Sy wins by like round 2 submission. I'm gonna say he rocks Menifield. Menifield shoots some kind of sloppy takedown, clinches up, and Umar Sy maybe latches up a guillotine or maybe, like, you know, drops him, follows up. Menifield kind of turns over. Umar Sy gets on the back, locks up a rear naked choke. I'm going to say Umar Sy does win this fight by submission. That's my pick. I think with a big reach advantage, he's going to be able to land something early on against Alonzo Menifield, who, like I said, is very chinny at light heavyweight. Not really very defensively sound. Not the best cardio either. Like, he is physically capable. He's pretty decent once he locks in. But, yeah, I think Umar Sy is just a little bit... I don't know. I just trust his skill set. Like, he has a lot of submissions on his record. He's looked good so far in the UFC. I'm going to say he wins this one by submission. All right, dude. Next fight to talk about, Cody Brundage versus Mansour Abdul Malik. Now, this is another fight where, honestly, I really considered picking Cody Brundage just because I think it's really funny. And is that not just a bedtime thing to do? Is that not just a bedtime MMA moment of just picking fucking Cody Brundage to beat Abdul Malik, whatever this kid's name is? I'm not gonna do it though. I'm gonna try and get some good predictions going. I'm gonna pick what's this fucking jobber's name? Mansoor Abdul Malik by TKO. I do believe Cody Brundage has this Anthony Smith reincarnated kind of qualities where he randomly will lock in and beat you after losing to you. You know what I mean? Like, he's beating people he has no business beating. And he kind of strikes like fucking Anthony Smith. Has some good grappling abilities. But I'm going to trust Mansoor Abdul Malik just by being athletic. I think that's the weakness of an Anthony Smith type guy. Like Cody Brundage is a big, athletic, somewhat talented middleweight. So I'm going to say that Mansoor Abdul Malik wins this fight by TKO. I do think he's going to be able to kind of defend any sort of grappling from Cody Brundage. And I think at some point he's going to catch him, drop him, maybe rock him up against the fence, get like a standing kind of TKO. I don't think it'll be a flatline KO. I think it'll be a TKO because Cody Brundage, like I'm telling you, bro, remember that I said this. This guy has a lot of Anthony Smith qualities. He kind of has like a cockroach ability to not get flatlined. To not just get completely dominated out cold. Like, he will have a moment here or there that lets him get re-signed. And I think Mansoor Abdul Malik will probably TKO him, but not flat out dominate him, KO him, smoke him. You know what I mean? I think it'll be something kind of competitive early on. And then Abdul Malik kind of catches him. But yeah, I'll pick Mansoor Abdul Malik by TKO round 1. But yeah, Cody Brundage, this guy's a fucking superstar in the making. All right, man? Next fight on the card, we got Cody Garbrandt versus Raoni Barcelos. I'm picking Cody Garbrandt, dude. I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't care. This is not Peyton Talbot. And I fuck with Peyton Talbot, but this ain't Peyton Talbot, dude. Raoni Barcelos is a fucking old midget, dude. This guy's not going on a fucking title run. And people Raoni Barcelos is the fucking favorite in this matchup. It is Peyton Talbot we're talking about. This guy lost to Davison Figueiredo. God forbid a brother loses to Davison Figueiredo, dude. God forbid a brother goes down and loses to Kai Kara France, man. Cody Garbrandt, in all of his losses, has still rocked his opponent. He looked sharp. Against Figueiredo, he was piecing him up on the feet. He got out-grappled to end the fight. But I think he's a better defensive grappler and overall just a better wrestler than Peyton Talbot. That's proven, bro. This guy was taking down fucking Rob Font and shit when they were fighting. I don't think Cody Garbrandt is this chinny fucking jobber that people seem to think he is now. He is washed. Make no mistake. Cody Garbrandt is washed. But I don't think he loses to Raoni Barcelos. I think he's going to be way quicker on the feet than Peyton Talbot. I think he's going to be quicker than... He's going to have a huge speed advantage over Raoni Barcelos. Definitely has more one-punch KO power than Peyton Talbot. And obviously more than Raoni Barcelos. I do worry about him throwing like naked leg kicks and getting caught. Like Barcelos catching a leg kick trying to take him down. But I think Barcelos all in all is like a ploddy old midget. So I'm going to say that Cody Garbrandt just kind of dances around him at range. Emoting, flicking the jab. Lands some big shots, maybe drops Barcelos here and there. Barcelos kind of toughs it out, walks him down with his angry little fucking elf face. Yeah, I'm going to say that Cody Garbrandt does win this one by decision. I'm going to say 30-27. Maybe he gets taken down, controlled to kind of end one of the rounds, but I think this is a step up from Peyton Talbot. And I think that Raoni Barcelos is going to look old. He's going to look slow. And people are going to be like, oh my God, Cody Garbrandt's back. They're going to put him against someone way too good. He will get chinned again or finished again. But this fight, I think Cody Garbrandt's fucking got this. I think this is just a slightly more dangerous Ronnie Yaya across from him. And that's what I really think of Raoni Barcelos. So I'm trusting the GOAT, Codington Garbrandt, to win that fight. All right, man? Next fight on the card, featured fight. It really should be Cody versus Barcelos as the featured fight, but regardless, that's neither here nor there. Edmund Shabazian versus Andre Petroski. Now, the thing with picking an Edmund Shabazian fight, it is basically just, can the opponent survive round 1? If not, you pick Shabazian. If you think they can, you pick the opponent by submission or late finish. I'm going to pick Edmund Shabazian by round 1 TKO. I think that Andre Petroski is really good. Like, he's a very, very good grappler. He doesn't really have this kind of staunch kind of aura or like danger on the feet. Like, I don't think he has any real threat on the feet. He is really just trying to take you down. And he is a little bit chinny. Like, he's not really durable. He's not really like, I just picture, I can't shake the image from my head of this guy getting like melted by Michel Pereira with one shot. You know what I mean? And losing to a hip bump from fucking Jacob Mamba Malkoon, bro. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, Andre Petroski, I just don't think he's gonna dog out a first round, because round 1 Shabazian hurts or pieces up pretty much every single person he fights. Every single person he fought. Derek Brunson, Jack Hermanson, Anthony Hernandez, all these guys that GM3, every single person that he's lost to that you can think of, he was winning the first round, pieced them the fuck up, dropped some of them, rocked them all badly. He has so many first round finishes on his record because he's so fucking good early on. And I think that Andre Petroski is not the type of guy to grit out or craft his way through the first round. And I think Shabazian's going to knock him out, dude. I think Shabazian's going to rock him with something and Petroski's just going to shell up on the floor. I know this is risky, though, because literally it is guaranteed Andre Petroski wins this fight if it leaves round 1. I could not be more certain of anything. It is literally round 1 KO for Shabazian, or if it leaves the first round, I'm completely wrong. Just accept it. I'm completely wrong. If this leaves the first round, Petroski wins. I'm 110% certain of it, but I'm going to say Shabazian does win by first round knockout. Okay, dude? Like I said, he's going to catch him, drop him. Shabazian will make him kind of shell up, land some ground and pound, get the TKO. All right, man? Co-main event. What a fucking banger, dude. What a fucking war, man. We got Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. This is a badass fight card. I'm going to pick Rose Namajunas by decision. I do think she's washed, but she's only 32. You know what I mean? I kind of rate Miranda Maverick around the same level of Amanda Ribas and Tracy Cortez. Like, I think those would be competitive fights for Miranda Maverick. Like, I think it would be like, oh, maybe I'll pick her to beat Amanda Ribas at this point by, like, split decision, you know? Or maybe she could eke out a decision over Tracy Cortez. You know what I mean? That's where I rate Miranda Maverick in this decision. There's no real performances that kind of remind me of, like, when Erin Blanchfield was coming up, or, like, Jasmine Jasuda Vicious, or, you know, Manon Fiorot. Like, there's not really these performances from her where she's coming up and I'm thinking, I don't know, dude, she might just fuck up some of these old heads at strawweight. I think Namajunas wins this fight. I'm going to say Rose Namajunas is going to be able to defend the grappling. I think she's proven that she has pretty good takedown defense, even in the fight with Manon Fiorot, which she lost. She still showed pretty good defensive grappling, you know? And I feel like she beat Amanda Ribas and Tracy Cortez pretty fucking easily. She kind of schooled them on the feet. I think she's always going to be, like, at some level of striking advantage against her opponents in this division, in WMMA in general. She's just actually talented at striking. She does have good submissions, and she has pretty solid takedown defense if you're not like Jessica Andrade, like a fucking giant, you know, man. So I think that Miranda Maverick, being at a bit of a height and range disadvantage, is not going to be able to just manhandle Rose Namajunas. I think Rose Namajunas' weakness is people that just get in her face and fucking bully her around, dude. And I don't think that's Miranda Maverick. So I'm going to say Rose Namajunas wins by pitter-patter, like, decision. Like, just jabbing at range. I'm the best. Just jabbing at range, you know, oblique kicks, side kicks, moving around at range, switching stances. She's kind of like a female Corey Sandhagen, dude. I feel like that's what Namajunas is. So I'm going to say she wins this one. All right, man. Main event of the card. We got Kamaru Usman. Joaquin Buckley. This guy's a great fighter. I really thought Colby was beating him, but I was about to throw the towel in. I really was. This guy's great. I really believe that. This is a tough fight for him. It really is. Usman versus Buckley. What's my prediction? I'm picking Joaquin Buckley by decision. I could see a TKO as well. I think Joaquin Buckley is going to beat Kamaru Usman pretty easily, dude. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I think Kamaru Usman, when you look at all of these old heads that have come back or that have, you know, started to kind of fall off from being champion, outside of Volk, what has happened to Henry Cejudo? What has happened to fucking Aljamain Sterling? What has happened to fucking Israel Adesanya? Right? Even look at Ngannou, bro. You know, what happened to Stipe? Right? I think Kamaru Usman, this fight to me kind of reminds me of Song Yadong versus Henry Cejudo. I don't think Usman will look horrifically washed. I don't think he's going to look like fucking Leon Edwards out there or something. I don't think he's going to come out looking like Prime T would. But I do think he's going to look a little bit less than what he used to be. I don't think he's going to be flowing easily. I think it's going to be kind of awkward for him to get going. Whereas Joaquin Buckley, because he's been so active, and because he is actually improving a lot, I think he's just going to be in it straight away, like just flowing straight away, landing more shots, throwing more, lot more comfortable on the feet, tagging up Usman, physically explode, like just ready to fucking defend takedowns, move around on the feet, you know. And I think that he's gonna defend the grappling well enough and be higher output and higher speed and just honestly at this point a higher skill on the feet than Kamaru Usman. And I think because of the way that Usman fights, and especially coming off a layoff, if I had to guess, I don't think the 5-round factor is going to be a huge deal against Buckley. Because I think it's going to start out at a pretty slow pace. I think Usman's going to come out there in round 1, just kind of moving around, you know, feeling what it's like to be back in the octagon, pumping the jab here and then, feinting some kicks, you know what I mean? Just kind of doing his going through the motions kind of movements. Kind of letting Buckley do his thing, kind of feel him out. And I feel like Usman's just going to be working from behind immediately. I think Buckley's going to come out really high output. And I think that the only thing he really has to worry about is the jabs and the takedowns of Kamaru Usman. Usman does not throw any fucking kicks. If you're going to beat Joaquin Buckley, you look at like Alessio Di Chirico, you look at Wonderboy, even Colby in some moments. The best moments they have is throwing head kicks and big body kicks. And at 185, right, the biggest thing that was against him was the physicality and his cardio. Maybe because he wasn't training that hard because 185 was pretty easy for him to make. You look at him at 170, he's not getting overpowered. He's not getting fucking mogged by the size of Usman. Like, they're both arguably guys that could be fighting at middleweight right now, right? And his chin seems to be better at 170. He just seems to be able to take these 170 guys' punches a lot better than 185. So I feel like with Usman, his best weapon is going to be jabbing with Buckley, like straight punches down the middle. But I feel like without the kicking, because he has the fucking knees and because he's coming off a layoff, I feel like he's going to start out slow. I feel like he's going to be stuck in the mud. I think he's going to be flat-footed. I think we're going to see Usman do his classic boxing moments of like winging a huge punch, you know, ducking his head down, closing his eyes, swinging a big punch. I think Buckley's going to outstrike him, just being quicker, more active, more output, throwing head kicks, body kicks, a lot of leg kicks, you know, hooks around the guard of Usman. I think the speed disadvantage for Usman is going to be a big factor. I think during the fight, he will be able to take down Joaquin Buckley here and there. But honestly, maybe this is kind of speculation, but I feel like we've seen this in the Colby fight and the Ruziboya fight, especially at 170. Even if you want to go back to the fucking Albert Duraya fight, if you want to go back that far, it looks so hard to hold down Joaquin Buckley. Like, who is actually taking down Joaquin Buckley and just holding him down? Usman is extremely fucking good. I definitely understand that he has a good wrestling ability. He's a much better wrestler than Joaquin Buckley on paper, and it's proven in history. But I feel like at this age, he's not going to be able to get that much control. He's not going to be able to get that much damage off because he's going to have a hard time, first of all, getting a hold of Joaquin Buckley. I don't think he's going to be quick enough to just rush at him and take him down. I think Joaquin Buckley's definitely going to be faster, more mobile, more active, you know, not really dealing with the same leg injuries and knee injuries that Usman has. And I also feel like Buckley's so explosive that every time he moves, you're going to see Usman give a big reaction. Every time Buckley feints, you're going to see Usman jump back out of range. Every time Usman gets a hold of Buckley, you're just going to see Joaquin Buckley just explode to get him out. Like, just throw him off. Or just get straight back up to his feet. And I feel like maybe Usman has some control time in the clinch. Maybe holding him against the fence. Maybe he gets a takedown here and there. But I don't think he's going to be able to really significantly hold down Joaquin Buckley and gas him out. And I feel like if we look back at Usman's fights, you're getting fucking rocked by Colby Covington, bro. You're getting rocked by fucking Leon Edwards, dude. You're getting dropped by fucking Gilbert Burns, bro. I feel like Buckley is going to be able to rock Usman, hurt him, and kind of discourage him from closing the distance. And I feel like Usman's cardio and skill set's going to hold up over 5 rounds. I could see him getting knocked out, but I'm going to say Buckley wins by unanimous decision. 49-46, maybe one scorecards of 48-47. I think the big factors, like I said, he's going to be at an athleticism advantage. I think that a big part of why Usman was so good was because he was physically stronger and more capable than the guys he's fighting. And I don't think that's a factor against Joaquin Buckley. So I think he's going to look a little bit slower, a little bit more stalking around, stuck in the mud. I think Buckley's going to outstrike him with high output, better speed, more explosive, more weapons. And I think he's going to do good enough to get back up and win a decision. So I'm going to say Joaquin Buckley wins by unanimous decision. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Hey, let me know something as well, bro. I was tossing around this idea. I was thinking about it. Do you guys want the webcam in my videos? I'm thinking about doing it. I've got a pretty sick haircut right now. I'm not going to lie. I do feel like mogging a little bit. So let me know down below if you guys want to see the webcam appear in a couple of videos. If you don't want to see my chopped face, let me know though. And yeah, man. Appreciate you boys. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA. I will see you guys in the next video, man. Goodbye.